and then I watched as the little girl prepared herself to jump off. I could sense her anticipation, the coiled readiness in her tiny limbs, and then, when the moment arrived, the sudden, fierce movement as she leapt forward and landed safely on terra firma. Following which, no doubt relieved and elated by the manoeuvre, she performed 2 little skips, still clasping her mother's hand. It must have been these skips that made my heart flip, that made me watch this mother and daughter in wonder and longing. It made me think at once of my own daughters, Francesca and Ariane, children no longer, and how, when they were younger, the mere act of walking was sometimes not enough. It must have felt simply too ordinary, too boring, which meant that sometimes they too would randomly break into a skip or a hop, and in the process they would carry me forwards with them, each of them clasping one of my hands, and sometimes I would skip too, to keep up with them, and to show them that I was also capable of sharing their joy in the world, that middle age had not yet drained it out of me. All of these thoughts flashed through my mind as I watched the mother and her daughter proceed to the ticket barrier, and they all swelled and distilled themselves into a sudden, transitory but overwhelming sense of loss and longing, which flattened me and took my breath away. Tomorrow, Ariane, the elder of my twins, would be leaving home, flying to the other side of the world. It would be my job to wave goodbye at the entrance to Heathrow departures while pretending to feel nothing more ambiguous than pleasure at the wonderful opportunities waiting for her in Sydney. And then my husband and I would be left only with Fran who suddenly and dramatically had gone from being a child to being a problem which had flawed us both, and would no doubt continue to do so for the foreseeable future, until we could find a path which led through the mess she had created and out the other side. The year was 2013. I decided to go for a coffee in the bar at BAFTA, hoping there would be somebody there that I knew. The bar was almost empty. There was only one person that I recognised, Mark Arrowsmith. Mark had been trying to get his Kingsley Amis film adaptation made for the last 25 years. His eyes were clouded with defeat, but I hadn't done a serious piece of work for about 10 years either, so I wasn't exactly one to talk. I sat down with him and he asked about my work. "I'm writing some music of my own," I said, a tad too defensively, not wanting him to think that I was sitting at home twiddling my thumbs and waiting for the phone to ring, even though I was. "It's film-related," I continued, "but not actually for a film. It's a little suite for chamber orchestra. I'm calling it Billy." And then I added, in response to his interrogative look, "as in Wilder." "Oh, what a nice idea. I didn't know you were a fan." "I adore his films. Doesn't everybody?" "Of course. Well, it's incredible, really, when you look back. Double Indemnity, masterpiece. Sunset Boulevard, masterpiece. He just kept turning them out. Some Like It Hot, The Apartment." "Did you ever see Fedora?" I asked. Mark shook his head. "I don't think so. If I have, I've forgotten it." "Well, I haven't," I said, "because I was there when he shot it." His eyes widened. "Really?" Frowning, he mumbled, Fedora. What was it about?" And I'm afraid I couldn't resist saying, "It was about lots of things. But I suppose you could say that mainly it was about an aging film producer trying to make a film which was completely out of step with the times." That seemed to close the conversation. Shortly afterwards, he gathered up his things and left. After our last dinner together as a family of 4, before Ariane left, my husband Jeffrey and I decided to watch a film for distraction. We started watching an American action movie with a cacophonous soundtrack in which the noise of explosions, gunfire and car crashes competed with a thunderous orchestral score. After 10 minutes, Jeffrey was fast asleep on the sofa. I watched it to the end without the least sense of interest or involvement. I followed it up with a British comedy about 2 feisty pensioners. It was meant to be quirky and life-enhancing, but it filled me with a deep sense of existential despair. Every time something amusing was about to happen, the composer nudged us in the ribs by having the strings play pizzicato. After 30 minutes, I wanted to kill both characters. In circumstances this desperate, there is only one thing that can console me. Brie. I always keep at least 3 different kinds of brie in the kitchen for emergency situations. Other people drink to forget. I eat brie. And only a top-notch brie de Meaux fermier would do tonight. I spooned a good dollop out of the box and plastered it onto a biscuit. The release of those delicate, nutty, mushroomy flavours onto my tongue was exquisite. The texture was firm, but creamy. Bliss. Before I knew what I was doing, I'd eaten half of the box of Brie de Meaux Fermier in 10 minutes flat. "Oh dear," said Geoffrey. He'd woken up and was watching me from the kitchen doorway. "Bad as that, is it?" You will never understand," I said, with my mouth half full. "The consolations of a good brie. You're a cheese Philistine." Geoffrey liked cheddar and red Leicester at a pinch. He sat down opposite me. "Everything will be all right," he said. I spread cheese onto a new cracker and devoured it in 2 mouthfuls. "So our daughters have grown up. That's wonderful, isn't it?" "It's not just that," I countered, petulant. "Did you notice the music in those 2 films? No, you did the sensible thing and fell asleep. It wasn't music, it was just noise. Not a single melody, not a single new idea, and that's what people want these days. They don't want what I write. For God's sake, no one's commissioned a score off me for 15 years. Oh, I thought you were going to write some new music, your Billy Wilder thing." "What's to become of me, Jeff?" I said, clutching both of his hands. "I have 2 talents, 2 things that give me a reason to go on living, writing music and bringing up children. That's what I do. And now I'm basically being told that neither of these skills is required anymore. On both fronts, I'm finished, kaput, and I'm only 57. The next morning, there was a letter for Fran, with the NHS logo on the envelope. She opened it and said, "January the 14th, a week on Monday." This was the day the procedure had been scheduled, to terminate her pregnancy. I couldn't think of anything to say. I walked towards her, meaning to give her a hug, but she saw me coming and managed to duck out of the way. "So, you're okay with this? You definitely want to go through with—" "Not now, Mum. I'm late," she said, walking out the front door. I went into the kitchen to find Geoffrey. "Am I the only person in this family who feels anything? One of our daughters is pregnant, and the other one's flying to Australia. Why am I the only one who can't take any of this in their stride?" "It's your Mediterranean background," said Geoffrey. "Athens is not on the Mediterranean," I shouted. "And my mother was from London, and my father was half Slovenian, and I'm just as emotionally repressed as any of you." Heathrow, Terminal 3. A loathsome place, if you've come there to say goodbye to someone. "Well, I'll see you in a few months, I suppose," Ariane said, putting her arms around me. "That's right," I said. "Not long at all." But my body shook with a sob. "Come on, Mum, don't make this hard for yourself." I shook, wordlessly. "Did your mother do this?" Ariane asked. "Didn't she see you off when you went to America?" "That was different," I said. "That was just a trip." "Then think of this as just a trip." Ariane kissed me, gave me one last hug, and then released herself from my too tight, overprotective clasp. I wiped the tears from my eyes, then turned and began the long, lonely walk back to the car park. I thought about what Ariane had said and wondered if she was right. Had it been just as hard for my own mother, back in 1976? This question had never occurred to me before. Los Angeles. To answer Ariane's question, no. My mother did not cry when she waved me off at the airport in Athens in 1976. At least I don't think she did. Young people do not notice the feelings of their parents, are not even aware that they have feelings most of the time. I was too nervous to notice in any case. I'd just turned 21, and backpacking around America was a big step for me. During the flight to New York, I pored over my guidebooks. For a while I listened to the classical music program the airline had provided. Music was already my passion, but there were no personal stereos in the 70s, of course. So you were at the mercy of other people's choices. And someone had put together a pretty dull selection of Beethoven and Mozart and the like, all in terrible sound quality. I'd wound up in the smoking section, and the middle-aged guy sitting next to me was smoking very pungent cigarillos. By the time we landed at JFK, I was feeling thoroughly sick. I didn't go out that first evening. Just lay in my hostel, feeling tired and queasy, and wondering what I'd let myself in for. After a few days, I had a stroke of good luck. I met a British girl of about my own age, whose name was Jill. We had plenty in common, and both of us were rather shy. I lost touch with Jill, but despite what happened when we got to LA, I have the fondest memories of her. I even have a photo of us both on the desk in front of me as I type this. Looking at it, I would have to say, without being immodest, that I was the prettier of the two. Jill had an unfortunate set of teeth, but for some reason, your attractiveness to the opposite sex is not always dependent on how attractive you are. And as it happened, she was the one whose trip across America led to a holiday romance. His name was Stephen. Jill and I had made our way to the West Coast by then, and Stephen turned up at our hostel on the second night. He was British too, and our companionable twosome became a complicated threesome. He clung to us like a limpet, and I could feel myself being edged out of the picture. Pretty soon, it was obvious that I had become the reluctant witness to a full-blown love affair. A few days later, Stephen was booked on a night bus from LA to Phoenix. This was the same night that Jill was meant to be having dinner with a film director who was a friend of her father's, a Mr. Wilder. She didn't seem to be looking forward to it much. Was quite annoyed with her father, in fact, for arranging it, and she had already invited me along for moral support. But now that it coincided with Stephen's departure, she was absolutely furious about it. I couldn't see what the fuss was about, personally. They had already agreed to meet up, and would only be apart for 10 days. Was that really so hard to bear? I had never been in love myself at this point, you understand. Sitting on Santa Monica Beach, after Jill and Stephen's long goodbye, Jill rather stoically told me she was okay. Not knowing at the time about the Brits and their compulsion to disguise their feelings, I took her at her word. I was selfishly pleased to have Jill to myself again. As for tonight's dinner with the film director in Beverly Hills, how bad could it be? Of course, if I'd known that this meal was going to mark a huge change of direction in my life, I might have felt differently. But I had no inkling of that. And in the meantime, all I had to do was lie on the beach, the sunlight on the water, the feel of hot sand beneath our bodies, with a sense of a future that seemed to consist of pure, uncontaminated potential.
Jasmine Hyde reading Mr. Wilder and Me by Jonathan Coe. It was produced by Clyde Brill and is a Brill production for BBC Radio 4. BBC News at 11 o'clock. The organiser of the Champions League, UEFA, has announced there will be an independent review into the events surrounding Saturday night's football final in Paris. Police used tear gas and pepper spray on Liverpool supporters as they tried to enter the Stade de France for the match against Real Madrid. The French authorities blamed the chaos on fans with fake tickets attempting to get into the ground. A Liverpool supporter who was at the match, Dan Austin, said children were caught up at the turnstiles.
There were children there who will have been at their first UEFA Champions League final who should have had the time of their lives with the fathers, with the mothers, whoever they went with, whose faces I will remember streaming with tears because they were suffering from the effects of tear gas from a brutal French police force.
European leaders have delayed a decision on whether to ban Russian oil imports due to divisions among member states. Hungary, which is heavily dependent on Russian oil, says the embargo would be disastrous for its economy. Speaking to the summit via video link, Ukraine's President Zelensky urged leaders to settle their differences. The former Cabinet Minister, Jeremy Wright, is one of 3 more Conservative MPs who are calling on Boris Johnson to resign. In a statement on his website, Mr Wright said lockdown parties at Downing Street and Whitehall had done real and lasting damage to the reputation of government. The number of cases of monkeypox in the UK has risen to 179. UK Health Security Agency detected 71 additional cases of the disease in England. The World Health Organization has said it doesn't think the monkeypox outbreak will lead to a global pandemic. A 36-year-old man has been arrested after he threw cake at the world-famous Mona Lisa portrait at the Louvre in Paris. The man, who disguised himself as an elderly woman in a wheelchair, first tried to smash the painting's bulletproof screen before smearing the glass with the dessert. It was thought to be a climate-related protest. BBC News.
I'm Dr. Zand van Tulleken. I used to eat a lot of ultra-processed foods, and then this happened. This heart's in a funny rhythm. I woke up at 3 in the morning, it was quite panic. And then I started to feel really ill. I'm his twin brother, Dr. Chris van Tulleken, and I've come up with a plan to help. We find out what these foods are made of, what they're doing to my body, and why they're the number one force driving global obesity.
In the UK, more than half of calories came from the processed food. So,
Whoa!
yeah.
A thorough examination with Doctors Chris and Zant on Radio 4 and BBC Sounds, starting tomorrow afternoon at 3:30.
Now on Radio 4, time for some sketch comedy from Ali Official and Athanu Gubreno. It's DMs are open.
Ali, my dishwasher is so bad. Every time I use it, I have to wash the plates again by hand.
Wow, that sounds more useless than Amber Heard's lawyer. You know, we've never even turned our dishwasher on. We literally put biscuits in it.
So my dishwasher doesn't work, and your dishwasher is a cupboard. I don't know what's worse.
Your dishwasher uses double the water. My dishwasher gives me double the space.
Oh, you're right. From now on, I'm keeping my asparagus in the cutlery basket.
Hello, you're listening to DMs Are Open, and we're your hosts. I'm Ali Official.
And I'm Athena Kablenyu, and joining us in the cast this week are Akafi Ali, Abby Clark, and Stuart Laws.
Athena, what's going on with you this week?
I've been outraged at people who are outraged.
Jeez, outrage squared, yeah?
Honestly. So there are Union Jack flags hanging above Regent Street. Well, a few people think this is another indicator of the rise of fascism in the UK.
Wait, what? Does that now mean Regent Street is a no-go area for us?
It was a no-go area for me anyway. I can't afford to shop at Canada Goose. When I was a teenager in the 90s, and yeah, I was a teenager in the 90s, get over it, yeah? When I was a teenager in the 90s, pop stars and rock stars used to wave the Union Jack about like they just won a gold medal. It's just odd to me how things have changed.
Great. So now Regent Street is expensive and racist. Talk about killing two ethnic birds with one white stone. I'll be honest though, Athena, I get confused with all this Union Jack stuff, man. Like, it's used by skinheads and the royal family. I'm not saying both of those things are racist. Well, actually, no, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm confused. Basically, if a black or brown person sees a Union Jack flag, should we instantly be concerned?
So this is the thing. The Union Jack itself isn't a bad symbol all the time. What matters is where you see it. And I can't really explain when it's good or bad. You just pick up a sixth sense for knowing when it's good or bad.
Okay, so like Mo Farah winning 2 races in 2012 waving a flag. Good or bad?
Good. Definitely good.
Okay, last night of the proms?
Well, good-ish. Well, I'd be less hesitant if they switched Rule Britannia for gigs talking the hardest.
Boris Johnson sliding down a zip while having 2 little Union Jacks?
Bad. That's nothing to do with the flags. They should have just left him up there. But talking of Boris, there were so many photos of Boris Johnson partying this week.
Innit? Did you see how blurry the other people were? Whoever took that photo must have been proper smash, bro.
Does this even still count as news though? As nothing is going to actually happen. I honestly think there could be leaked audio of Boris singing Celebration by Kool and the Gang, and he would still claim he starts all his work meetings that way.
Big scoop for ITV News though. I didn't even know ITV did news.
It'll be fun to see how Nadine Dorries tries to punish ITV like she punished Channel 4. Like, how do you make ITV worse? Make ITV Hub even harder to use?
Hey, the Elizabeth line is finally open. Now the Queen can go to Shenfield and back whenever she wants.
The thing about this is it's great and everything, but no one outside of London cares. There are people from all over the country listening. They don't care. They don't care.
Yeah, this covers them too. Maidenhead, Twyford, Reading.
There are places further than Reading, Ali.
No, that's impossible. TfL says Reading's the end of the line.
GCSE Geography needs to make a comeback in your life.
You know what is making a comeback though?
98 degrees! They're getting back together!
With that scream, you just told me me that the 90s were a musically dark time for you. No, Athena, I'm talking about End-Ups. They're doing a comeback tour and they've pretty much sold out all their dates.
Is it me, or does it feel a bit wrong to like End-Ups when you're in your 30s and 40s? It's like wearing boot-cut jeans. There was a time and a place for them, but not now.
The thing is though, they are all in their mid-30s, but they just haven't grown up. If anything, they look like their own tribute act. They look like they're doing really good End-Ups fancy dress.
I saw that Pay Later Finance's Klarna have laid off 10% of their workforce. That's 700 people.
Jeez, that's tough. And they sacked all of them together too. They could have at least spread the sackings out over several months, like they let their customers pay for things.
You know what? These buy now, pay later services are dodgy as hell. If you need to spread the cost of something that costs £10, I'm telling you, you can't afford it.
Agreed. Good business move from Klarna though. They've just basically created 700 potential new customers. It's the perfect crime.
They've also been criticised for sacking them via a recorded message.
Oh god, that's harsh. Hey, the BBC bosses are listening. If you ever want to sack us, please don't do it via submitting a voice note. But if you do, please at least keep it under 20 seconds as per the submission guidelines. Muppet of the Day award goes to George W. Bush though, where he accidentally confessed to being a war criminal in a speech where he referred to the unjustified invasion of Iraq, but he was meant to say Ukraine.
Yeah, Muppet of the Day and Freudian slip of the century. Imagine if more politician speeches had accidental confessions.
Good afternoon. I am so pleased to announce that we have very carefully spent all the public money on policies, and because we all know that British Cell hates immigrants. Incompetence. We will proceed cautiously, and I hope the public will vote for me in the next election because, of course, I love the power. I mean, the people. My career is over. I mean, the press conference is over. Oh my God, Barbara, how was that?
Oh yeah, that was terrible. I mean, terrific. It was terrific.
So Love Island is being sponsored by eBay this year. I think they are trying to do something about fast fashion.
Soon the clothes are going to last longer than the relationship.
Imagine a Love Island where everything is secondhand.
Welcome back to Pre-Loved Island. Today we're welcoming a stunning new islander, Lucy. Are you wearing anything pre-loved, Lucy?
Yeah, totally. My sister loved this bracelet before I borrowed it and never gave it back to her.
You're practically Greta Thunberg. Let's show you around the villa.
Oh, the pool! Let me get into my bikini!
Great! All the pool water's been pumped in from a town 12 miles away, but to offset the carbon emissions, we'll be recycling and reusing all last year's catchphrases.
Is that how we're doing our bit for the environment?
Sorry, Lucy. Contractually, you have to say we're doing bits for the environment. Let's meet the boys. This is our resident hunk, Anton.
Hey babe, are you a sealed pack of original early 2000s Pokemon cards? Because you're in near mint condition.
Anton's used that line on all the girls. Recycling is sexy.
Well, Anton, I think you're super handsome and kind of familiar.
I've been appearing on this show repeatedly for nearly a decade.
Wait, sorry. That means you're over 25. Next.
Don't worry, Lucy. Say hello to our next brand new islander, Jake.
Brand new? That's my ex. We broke up last month. Listen, if it makes it easier, I'm into women too. How about some bi contestants this series?
Lucy, you sweet summer idiot. It's not eco-friendly to come up with new controversies. We're repeating our old ones. Now, time for a quick run through of the first game. Snog, marry, pie.
Oh my God, you just mashed a pie into my face!
Don't worry, Lucy, that's the whipped cream we used last year.
Hey, have you seen these climate doomers?
Yeah, I have. It's like, come on, I know it's Britain, but it will be sunny again one day, just keep the faith.
No, that's not what a climate doomer is. These are people who believe the world has already lost the battle against global warming.
Yeah, sure. I totally knew that.
Yeah, of course you did. But I like to think there are people out there staying optimistic and doing their bit for the climate. Most workplaces are even going greener.
Hey, Nicky, is this the spot? I can't carry him no longer.
Quit whining. We'll dump him as soon as our ride gets here.
Hey fellas, sorry I'm late.
Billy, you're a getaway driver. Where's the car?
I'm taking part in this cycle for work scheme. Exercise, saving the planet, and talk about an offer I couldn't refuse.
We ain't getting on that thing.
It's either this or a family ticket on the subway.
You listen here, Billy Thumbergo. We thought all of this globe-humping BS was over.
Yeah.
When you refused to leave the horse's head in Gambino's bed.
I just think it's more sustainable to go with the nut loaf.
You ain't going soft, are you, Billy? This guy wiped out half the Lucchese family. We had to take care of them.
Yeah, exactly. And now we need to take care of the planet. River pollution is no joke, and that body bag is a single-use plastic. Can't we be a little kinder and throw him into the old quarry?
That quarry's been turned into a power plant.
Oh, jeez.
It's fine. We cleared the bodies out last week.
No, it's just nuclear power. It's like Extinction Rebellion. Never happened.
Right, that's it, Billy. You're going in too. Enjoy sleeping with the fishy.
Wait. There are actually any fishes in there. Thanks to your selfish attitude, 80 species of freshwater fish have gone extinct. Oh!
Phew. That is one less person breathing out carbon dioxide.
So nice to feel like we're making a difference.
You and me, Nikki, saving the world.
The Proms have announced that this year will feature the first ever showcase of game music.
Ah, amazing. The FIFA 2016 soundtrack was great.
I can't wait to see how the classical singers handle them.
This summer, video games are coming to the Proms. Don't miss out on Leslie Garrett performing the voices of Street Fighter 2 Arcade Edition.
Sonic Boom!
Alec Jones, star of The Snowman and the Songs of Praise, brings his 3-hour Mortal Kombat medley.
Finish him! Fatality! Game over!
And the legendary Andrea Bocelli. In this part, he was born to play Super Mario.
It's me, Mario. Mamma mia, let's go. This is the most demeaning thing I've ever done in my life. I don't appreciate being reduced to a clumsy Italian stereotype.
Just beautiful, and topped it all off. On the last night of the Proms, the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra will perform FIFA 2016 soundtrack in its entirety.
Ladies and gentlemen, EA Sports, it's in the game.
Athena, I wish you hadn't told me what climate doomism was. I think I've got it. I don't think I'm doing my bit to save the planet.
You've just got to try and put it out of your mind and do what you can.
You see, climate doomism isn't anything I've got to worry about.
Oh, why is that? You an expert composter? Like, you look like one.
Okay. It's actually because I'm not going to procreate. I've had a vasectomy, or as I call it, getting my V card punched for the second time. Going to pop to the Vatican later this year to get it triple punched. Virgin, vasectomy, Vatican. So humans are carbon creators, and I'm committing to a zero-carbon Stuart Laws by 2042.
2042? You'll be like 40 then, won't you?
Well, firstly, thank you. Secondly, I'm assuming I'll have died in a freak rescuing orphans from a burning orphanage accident by then. But not having a child means that I can now emit as much carbon as I like and know I'm statistically still one of the good guys. I eat as much beef as I like now. I fly to work whenever I can. I've got my under-seat heating on all the time. I don't even care about the energy wastage or the testicle temperature. I drive a diesel. Didn't even have to. With the money I make from this show, I could have bought a fully electric Tesla. It's outside right now. Engine on, aircon up to max, wipers working overtime, radio floor blasting out the top volume so all the other kids know I'm cool. The other day, I drove into the ultra-low emission zone and then the congestion charging zone, 4 minutes before the charges stopped. £27.50 for an accidental 4 minutes. It is cheaper than a baby. But I was so annoyed, so I thought, I've got to get my money's worth. I pulled over, slipped the car into neutral, revved it up till my ears bled for 4 minutes straight. I loved it. The police came over. Excuse me, sir, what are you doing? Don't worry, officers, I've had the snip. Carry on.
Right, so what are you suggesting? Everyone gets vasectomies?
No. I don't want to be an evangelist about, taking a trip to V-Town. I think not having a child is a personal choice. If you want them, have them.
But I have.
Okay, well, if you don't. But it's good that the conversation is changing, and the default isn't that you're born, get a job, get married, have kids, die young, trying to save orphans from a fire. We can celebrate the positivity of not having children.
Thanks, Stuart. I feel a lot better.
Ali, are you going to get a vasectomy?
If you do, just let me know, because I can give you a referral code, get you 20 quid off.
Now it's time for one-liners.
As part of the Queen's Jubilee, Milton Keynes has been promoted from a town to a city. But as Sean Connery used to say, Milton Keynes has always been a bit shitty.
A delivery bag with £30,000 of cocaine has been found by the police in Essex. Deliveroo has said the drugs didn't belong to any of their employees, but couldn't explain how the driver managed to deliver 37 pizzas in 4 minutes.
More than 50 cases of monkeypox have been identified in the UK. Common symptoms include a rash, a high temperature, and a loss of appetite for savoury food because you'd rather have a bowl of Cocoa Pops.
The Prince of Wales has visited the EastEnders set. When asked by a member of the cast if he'd brought along the trouble and strife, Charles responded, no, he'd left Andrew at home.
A shortage of baby formula has caused panic in the US, but some mothers have said that they have a secret source for feeding their babies, which they're keeping close to their chest.
Oh yeah, I have one on the same topic. There is a tragic baby formula shortage across America. I mean, how do people not know what the formula for babies is? It's sperm plus egg equals baby.
Gene-edited tomatoes with extra vitamin D could soon be sold in England. Health food fans have wanted this for years, but it's taken a while for science to catch up.
What do you mean by that?
It's taken a while for science to catch up.
Why?
It sounds like catch up.
Yeah, you're trying to say ketchup.
Ketchup?
No, it's a pun.
Why have you said ketchup?
Ketchup.
Which one do you mean?
The ketchup that sounds like ketchup.
Google define ketchup.
What's it say?
I haven't seen this.
Just do the next pun. Just do the next one.
The world's tallest bottle of scotch is set to fetch £1.5 million at auction. This price tag demonstrates how notoriously volatile the novelty alcohol market can be. It is, after all, a whiskey business.
Hang on, how come you got that one but not my one?
I think I mispronounced risky by accident there.
No comment.
The Cambodian Ministry of Environment has called on tourists to stop taking selfies with penis-shaped plants. They clarified that the plants are not to be removed for exhibition purposes, adding that they are growers, not showers.
A Welsh councillor has resigned after facing repeated allegations that he's actually Banksy. He said that the writing has been on the wall for some time, but insists that he's not the one who put it there.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness topping the box office for the 3rd week running. Have you seen that film?
Nah, I can't be bothered with the multiverse. Too many characters and too many narrative universes. I mean, where does it all end?
My God, this multiverse seems to know no bounds. Listen to me, James Bond. We've got to get to Mordor to destroy the Infinity Gauntlet once and for all.
We do, Mary Poppins. Though I must say, it's a shame we crashed the Batmobile back there in Narnia.
We would have been toast if Harry Potter hadn't turned up in the TARDIS.
Thank God that boy lived. Otherwise, we would never have made it to Doc Cotton's safe house. Oh, when will this war be over?
Oh no, it's he who should not be named.
Voldemort?
Pingu.
How did the plasticine monsters survive the zombie horde?
They weren't zombies. They were White Walkers.
What even is the difference?
Zombies are undead beings who survive on human flesh. White Walkers are sentient, inhuman beings who turn people into zombies. It might sound insignificant, but the difference is actually a vital part of the central mythology.
Oh, no! We don't have time for this. Oh, no. It's Super Mario.
I'm not the Super Mario. I'm Andrea Bocelli, and I'm not a character. I'm a real man. This is so degrading. Oh, look, it's Bingo. Hello. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus Christ, he's eating me. Pingo's eating me.
Get to the phone booth, quick!
Morpheus, get us out of here.
I would like to see this film, actually. It sounds dope. This week, a number of towns have been awarded city status for the Queen's Jubilee. Move over New York, Milan and Paris. The new hub of culture is here. Milton Keynes! Word has it that a well-known socialite is already planning her visit.
We now return to sex and the commuter city.
The 10:37 train sped towards my city break in Milton Keynes. What awaited me? A holiday romance, a day of shopping, an afternoon of skiing at the Snowdome Leisure Centre.
Oi, love, I'm not going to ask you again. Where's your rail card?
I left the station and my head was spinning because a group of kids was selling laughing gas balloons outside. The air hummed with the lyrical chatter of the kind-faced locals.
Oi, what are you looking at, though? Do you want to go, do you? Do you actually want to go?
But I didn't want to go. I wanted to stay here in Milton Keynes.
You're pretty fit, you know.
Who was this dashing young stranger? Could he be the one? He said his name was Jamie. I wasn't sure whether I could trust him, but all the used condoms littering the street told me that the men in Milton Keynes took contraception very seriously. I let him take me to a cute bar. It was called Weatherspoon.
My uncle's not actually working today, so we do have to pay full price. You good to buy a round for me and my mates? Spud and Glock?
It all felt so new, so exciting. Jamie swept me off my feet, which made it easier for Spud and Glock to steal my Jimmy Choos. Sadly, Jamie had to leave.
My mom's making spaghetti hoops for tea.
And just like that, my magical afternoon was over. Milton Keynes might be cold, grey, and bereft of culture, but it's still better than Sex in the City 2.
Now in this next sketch...
Be quiet! Our phones are listening to us. Haven't you heard that WhatsApp are going to start using adverts now? I don't want them to use my words to target those ads. Let's pass notes to each other.
What does it say?
Click this link to buy notepads and paper. Wow! Yes, please. Maybe advertising does work. Oh, hi, Mum.
Hello, sweetheart. Just wanted to let you know we're putting Grandpa in a home.
What?
And I just wanted to ask...
Have you had an injury at work? You could be entitled to thousands of pounds in compensation. Here at Injury Lawyers for Everyone, we turn your frown, caused by a workplace accident, upside down by stuffing that frown full of compensation. Simply hobble into our DMs today.
What do you think?
Oh, sorry, Mum. I think we were interrupted by an ad. Did you say you were putting Grandpa in a home? Where?
France, Italy, and South Africa. Whatever you want to jet off to this summer, we've got you covered.
And out of all the homes, we think it has the best arts and crafts afternoon.
Hang on, Mum. We keep being interrupted. Can you start again?
Me and your dad have been to look around. They have a lovely garden with trees that are just covered in...
Sofas everywhere. We've got sofas so good you need to sit down on one of our sofas. Terms and conditions apply.
Mum, this is ridiculous. I haven't understood a word.
Oh, I'm sorry, love. Why don't you come over for lunch so we can talk about it properly? I'll make plenty of food. All you need to do is bring a Tupperware. You need to carry sandwiches, a bit of soup, or pack up some precious ornaments from Grandad's house. You need Tupperware.
Mum, was that you? Are you selling Tupperware now?
Well, it's an expensive home. I'm selling Tupperware for a bit of extra cash. I'll give you 20% off. What do you think?
Did you know the legal smoking age in England could be raised from 18 to 21? But have age limits ever stopped us from doing the things we want to do?
Happy birthday, sweetheart! 18 today. Where does the time go?
Happy birthday, son. You can open your eyes now.
Guys, you shouldn't have. Wait, are we at the casino?
Now, I helped you take your first step until we had a shave. Now I'll be there holding your hand as we bet all your life savings on red.
Oh, wait before you do that. Open your presents.
Thanks, Mum. Are these?
Fireworks, very dangerous, but now you're 18, you can get them whenever you like.
Is that tattoo gone?
Well, you can legally get one now you're 18, and it'll make you look all nice and smart for court.
Did you mean for court?
We've signed you up for jury service. Triple homicide, it might be a 12-weeker.
I just want a pint and an early night. What the hell was that?
Just one of your fireworks going off. Relax. Hey, why not blow off some steam with a motorbike ride?
Or a stint in the army without our consent?
No! This is too much. I'm going out for a cigarette.
Peter, you're smoking.
No, son of mine is going to smoke until they are 21. Is that understood?
No buts. Cigarettes or otherwise, your father is right. Go to your room.
What, are we going home?
Sorry, son. Bit of a misunderstanding. Not your room at our house.
You're 18 now, so you can get a mortgage. Good luck with that. Bye.
Pitch invasions have suddenly become commonplace at football games, with some suggesting that fans have forgotten how to act after the pandemic.
Okay, team, I've had to call this emergency HR meeting due to the swath of unprofessional behaviour I've witnessed recently. Urinating in the company car park, coming into work wearing face paint, interrupting employment tribunals by streaking. Look, I want to encourage company pride, but it's unacceptable to jump on the table, pull a Mooney, and slap your bare buttocks to celebrate our high performance in Q4. Ooh. And about the crass graffiti in the toilet. That's what I want to know, because when I find this potty-mouthed vagrant, I'll wash their mouth out of soap.
Oh, you're being a bit hard on us, boss. We're just having a laugh.
This company isn't immune to downsizing if our numbers fall.
Relegation!
Exactly.
All right, boss. We'll rein it in a bit, won't we, lads?
Good. Moving on, here's Simon from Accounts with the latest financial report.
Simon is a banker! Simon is a banker!
UK margins are up, and it looks like we're going to secure Europe.
Glory, paradise,
Haven't you listened to a word I've said?
Swap shirts, mate. Swap shirts.
Peter, you work in accounting. I'm not giving you my shirt.
Hi, it's Ali here. Sorry I can't get to the phone. I'm at the bank disputing some credit card charges. They're saying I spent 10 grand on karaoke equipment, but I can't even sing. Leave a message, please.
Yes, Prince Charles, auditioning for his role in EastEnders. Hey, you slag. Kindly remove yourself from my drinking premises, or I'll have my footman remove you himself. Was that okay?
I've just got back from a party for middle-aged ravers to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Hacienda nightclub in Manchester. I've never seen so many people on drugs. Diuretics, statins, blood pressure tablets, you name it, they were all doing it.
Hi, mates. It's Dishy Rishi here. You know, Chancellor, one of the richest men in the UK. It's no biggie, but the other night I bought you a drink, and I noticed you didn't actually buy me one back. Anyway, it was £4.65, and I WhatsApped you my bank details.
Hey guys, Tom Cruise here, real excited about my new movie, Top Gun 2 Maverick. All right, did all my own stunts, flew a fighter jet for real. My new best bud, Prince William, came to the premiere. He was so impressed by my flying skills, he's going to make me an honorary member of the royal family. Apparently, there are a couple of vacancies. Okay, it's great, you're great, cruise out.
Hiya, this is actually a bot voicemail. Yeah, it's not a real one. It's just been put in the show to stop Elon Musk coming in and buying it, which is a pretty shrewd move by the Beeb, if you ask me.
And that's our show!
Yep, I've got to bounce. I'm meeting a guy under the Shepherd's Bush flyover who says he'll sell me true end of tickets.
Retail? Dude, that's hell of expensive, you know.
Nah, it's fine. He said I can pay in installments. He used to work for Klarna.
Thanks for listening, folks.
And don't forget to hit us up with your DMs and voice notes, because this whole episode was put together from the stuff you guys sent in this week.
So, until next time, our DMs are open.
DMs Are Open was hosted by Afina Kablenyu and me, Ali Official. It starred Akafi Ali, Abby Clark, and Stuart Laws. The script editors were Catherine Brinkworth and Nathan Darcy Roberts. The coordinator was Sarah Nichols.
Anyone can submit to DMs Are Open. This week it was written by Rebecca Bain, Joe Bates, Carl Carzana, Cody Darla, Jade Gebby, Stephen Goodwin, Stuart Gribben, Martin Hasty, Helena Langdon, Stuart Laws, Philip Lickley, Cameron Loxdale, Martha MacDonald, Paul Masterman, Alex M.J. Smith, Lorna Rose Treen, Ian Searle, Will Sebag Montefiore.
Voice notes were performed by Uttam Chowdhury, Cody Darla, Adam Grierson, Alex Smith, and Johnny White. It was produced by Sadia Azmat and Rajiv Karya. DMs Are Open is a BBC Studios production.